you know? Don't you know? I fell for fools gold. I fell for fools gold. What did I know? What did I know? I fell for fools gold. I fell for fools gold. What did I know? What did I know? You were fool's gold. Yes, I did it all for love. Yes, I did it all for love. Yes, I did it all for love. And I did it all for love. Yes, I did it all for love. Oh, they say fools believe in it, so I guess I'm one of them. Oh, don't you know? I fell for fools gold. I fell for fools gold. What did I know? What did I know? I fell for fools gold. I fell for fools gold. What did I know? What did I know? You were fool's gold. Yes, I did it all for love.
Better off as strangers. Believe me when I say, loving me is loving danger. Your heart is bound to break. I walk alone in the night, beneath the pale moon. Loving's for the fools. Baby, beware of my body. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm a lone wolf. 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 I'm a creeping through the shadows and the corners of your mind. I go where the wind blows. I run but I don't hide. I hear the call of the wild, whispering my name. No, I can't be tamed. My heart belongs to the night. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm a lone wolf. 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 I'm a
So, let's see. What do you do here? What's your job here?
I am the shelter supervisor. I've been the shelter supervisor for about a year now, but I've been working with animal control for 3 years.
Okay. And can you state your name?
My name is Mary Rule, RUHL.
Okay. How many animals do you rescue a week?
That's a hard one to say, because some days or some weeks we maybe get 2 or 3 animals in. Other days we get maybe 14 animals in. So I mean it's hard to say.
So what kind of animals do you rescue? Do you rescue dogs, cats, all animals?
All animals that are inside city limits. Dogs, cats, ferrets, hedgehogs, rabbits, chickens, pigs, birds. You name it, we usually get it in sometimes.
Do you like your job here?
I love my job here. I wouldn't be in this job if I didn't love the animals.
That is true. So you have worked here for a year? About?
3 years.
3 years? Okay. What's the biggest reward you get when you rescue an animal? How do you feel when you do it?
It's kind of hard to explain because when you're working into a shelter environment, you see all these unwanted pets come in, and then the day they go to rescue, and you wonder what their story happens after they go to rescue. Sometimes we get an update on it, sometimes we won't, but just knowing that dog or cat or animal, whatever, went to rescue or got adopted out is like the most amazing feeling ever.
So it's kind of a mixed feeling. So when you like see them in abusive situations, it's like sadness and anger and
Right, yeah. We haven't had to deal too much with cruelty here in Sapulpa, which is a good thing.
that is good.
A lot of the pet owners here take really good care of their animals. There are a few that we have to, make sure that they keep doing what they're supposed to be doing, and they usually comply if they don't know something's wrong. So.
Okay. So do you have any stories about the animals you rescue? Like, what's a crazy story you've ever had?
There was back a few winters ago. We had a call about a couple puppies stuck on an island between in a frozen lake. And we don't have any way to get over to them, so we actually had a pedestrian come by and say, "Hey, I've got a paddle boat. You want to use it?" So this was before I actually became the supervisor, and my supervisor and the other full-time employee here at the time jumped in that paddle boat, went across the lake to this little island, and got 2 puppies out. It was so cold and wet.
Oh.
But I mean, it's a good thing we found them because I mean, they was just about to get hypothermia and stuff like that. So
that's good. So do you have any advice for people who have a heart for animals? Like any permanent jobs? Like I know here is volunteer work, but what would you suggest otherwise?
Fostering an animal saves its life. Adopting from shelters, rescues. Don't shop at pet stores.
Yeah.
Spay and neuter your animals.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps them healthy. And make sure that they're current on their rabies vaccination and regular vet care, because that helps the animals out a lot.
Okay, what do people look for when they want to adopt a pet? Like, what kind of attitude?
Somewhat cuddly, somewhat playful, somewhat guard dogs, but...
Does anyone ever want a calm dog? Do you ever get people in here that like, I want a super calm dog?
Yeah, and usually the calmest dogs are senior dogs. Those really have a hard time getting out of the shelters usually just because they're senior. And they're older, so they're like... But I love my senior dogs. I would rather go for a senior than a puppy.
Yep. Well, at least then they're trained and they're off the chewing and everything.
Right.
Okay, what is the most common breed you rescue here?
The most common breed that we get in the shelter is pit bulls, or pit bull mixes, or pit bull types. Now we do every once in a while get pure breeds, small dogs, chihuahuas, dachshunds, stuff like that. Every once in a while shepherds, rottweilers, we usually get it all, but main is pit.
Okay, do you have any idea why so many people are giving away pit bulls?
That I couldn't I don't know.
Because I know they have aggressive behavior. If you train them right, could they learn not to be aggressive?
Absolutely. I mean, pit bulls, the name pit bull, it just has a bad rep. It's in all in how the owner trains that dog as to how they're going to act. I adopted a pit bull out of the shelter, and he's just the biggest baby ever. And a lot of people that say that whenever they adopt them out of here. Now, there are a few that are a little aggressive, but, you know, we don't euthanize them. We do send them off to a rescue, and they train them the way they need to be trained, so.
Okay, how many animals get adopted in a year?
Ooh, that's a good question. In a year, I'm not sure because the numbers are so different every month. I would say maybe close to 100 animals get adopted out. Maybe most of them go to rescue.
Do you ever have to put an animal down at a certain time if it doesn't get adopted or if it's too old?
We do. You have to euthanize here at this shelter because we're a municipal shelter. We don't like to euthanize anything that's happy and healthy. When it gets to the point where we have to euthanize, it's because of space. And that's when our Puppy Furry Friends group really pulls in and tries to get them rescued before we have to euthanize anything. Our euthanasia rate is actually down to 1%.
Nice.
So
that's good. Do you have any future plans for this shelter right here?
This shelter, no. We are getting a new shelter built. It's going to be a whole lot bigger, a whole lot better, and definitely a lot more space. So it's going to save on euthanizing any animals.
Oh, that's
so.
good. So space is very limited here? Is that what I meant?
Space is very limited. I only have 8 dog runs out there, which we can only fit 2 to 3 dogs to a run if they get along. That seems to be the problem when getting dogs in, is that trying to find their match to get along with, and sometimes the other dogs just don't get along with dogs, so we have to keep them by themselves, and which has a space issue.
Only 1 out of every 10 dogs ever born will find their forever home with a family who will love and care for them. Every year, about 2.7 million dogs and cats are put down because the shelters have too many animals coming in to keep the others alive. Sadly, homeless animals outnumber homeless people 5 to 1. You can help keep animals off the streets by going to your local animal shelter or animal control and adopt, donate, or volunteer for them. Always remember to take your pet to the vet for their shots and to spay and neuter them if needed. Cesar Millan says, "You don't get the dog you want, you get the dog you need."
I'm like, hey, what's up, hello? Seen your pretty face soon as you came in the door. I just wanna chill, got a set for us to roll. Married to the money, introduced her to my stove. Showed her how to whip it, now she mixing for.